What's going on, guys? Chase with Bauer Hockey here with Tyson, who's the brand manager of sticks for Bauer Hockey. We have a different type of an insight video this year due to the craziness of this year. So unfortunately, I'm not out in Exeter with you guys, but we still have your new family of Supreme in front of us. In my opinion, this is one of the biggest changes in Bauer, aesthetically as well as technologically too. So before we start hopping into all of that new exciting tech and spec, what was your goal for 2020 Supreme? Just to kind of bring it to market, what was your overall goal here?
Yeah, you're right. I think when we think of Supreme, it's something that I'm extremely excited about and to finally get it into the marketplace. To really kind of bring a refresh and re-energize what the Supreme brand represents when it comes to sticks and when it comes to Bauer. In the past, we feel like there's still a little bit of a stigma out in the marketplace that Supreme is represented by defensemen, or you can only take slap shots with the Supreme stick. It has been our heaviest stick in the line, which is just a natural thing when it comes to a high kick point, because it needs a little bit more reinforcements within the stick to create that. And so we really challenged the R&D team coming out with this new Supreme line to match what's happening in today's game. We all know the game is getting faster. Players need to be able to release the puck a lot faster in different situations. So that was the goal. When we sat down and we talked about what we're going to be doing with the Supreme line, that's a big piece of it. We wanted to make sure that the puck is going to release faster. This isn't just built for slap shots anymore. We've shed a lot of weight out of the product, and we just wanted to make it a little bit more versatile and really round out, that Supreme player that loves Supreme now, it really should feel like it's going to the next level. And for people who are coming and trying it for the first time, I think it's going to be a real nice surprise across the entire line, how easy the puck is to load, and how much energy and velocity you're going to get when that puck releases towards the net. So that was the ultimate goal. That's why we're really excited to introduce this and to really try to make sure people understand that we've made a lot of significant changes, especially with the weight throughout the entire line. We are now matched our Vapor line through every price point. So, Vapor has traditionally always been our lightest collection of sticks, and we believe that that's, a big play of why it's so popular in the marketplace. Well, now when you compare Supreme to Vapor at every single price point, it's the same weight.
Awesome. That speaks to just how well each price point is improved. But one last thing before I'm so excited to get into this Ultrasonic, but for someone who hasn't really used a Bauer stick before, how would you maybe describe a style of shooter that the Supreme stick is really built for inside and out?
Yeah, so that's a great call out. We obviously, with our three families with Vapor, Nexus, and Supreme, we believe that you can be using any of these sticks in any situation on the ice, but with the different kick points, they are designed a little bit differently to kind of accentuate a certain player characteristic or the way the players shoot. So for Supreme, for us, you can still load up and take those nice one-timers and the slap shots, and you're going to get that great performance with it. But really the style of shot from a snapshot standpoint is a player who might kind of hold their hands a little bit closer together on the stick when they're going to load. Since this is where the kick point is, it's a little bit higher on the stick. If you hold your hands pretty tight together, it's going to be very easy to load. The other piece that we really kind of focus on is how you're loading and releasing that puck. So if you're somebody that's skating in and on the majority of shots you take, you kind of load it from your back foot to your front foot, and that puck is maintaining contact with the blade for a long period of time. That's where this is really going to shine, because it allows all that energy to be transferred down through the stick, loaded into the puck, and you're going to get that kind of max velocity. And that, the way that we talk about in terms of you want that heavy shot and you have that hand kind of placed close together, this is the stick that's really going to kind of match very well with your game.
For that player that likes to just generate maximum load in their shot, regardless if it is a slap shot, but more importantly with those snap shots and wrist shot these days too, right?
Correct. Yep. All
right. Well, let's get into this Ultrasonic. Like we said, a huge update inside and out. Just take it away. I could go off about it, but what was your goal with this, and what inspired your Ultrasonic this year?
Well, I think the easiest way for people to relate is really getting inspiration from our Supreme ADV stick. When we launched that, that's where, we use the ADV sticks as kind of a springboard into what we can potentially try to do at retail the following launch. So with Supreme ADV, the big story there was to shed as much weight as we can out of the product. In order to do that, we had to play around with geometries a little bit to maintain that high kick point and shed that weight, which was kind of probably the biggest story with Supreme, is that sonic taper technology down, in the bottom third of the stick where you guys can see it's going that way. The reason that we do that in order to shed excess carbon fiber out and reduce that weight. And so when we're doing that, ultimately that inspiration is now coming all the way into ultrasonic. So this is the closest match from an ADV that we've launched into what we're going to bring at retail. And this ultrasonic stick has all the same technologies that we had with Supreme ADV, down from the blade core to that sonic taper I just talked about, to the optimized kick point. The only difference is about 15 grams in weight. So our Supreme ADV was coming in at 375. This is now coming in at about 390 grams. And that's really the only kind of key difference between it, is a few grams. But as I mentioned before, at 390 grams, this is now matched to be the same weight as Vapor Flylight.
Right. I remember when your Vapor first made it into 300-gram territory, and now we have your heaviest stick making it its way too. And we talked about off camera too. This is actually an upgrade from that Supreme ADV, since we are now using that asymmetrical taper throughout the shaft as well. But maybe for someone who hasn't taken the time to look into the Supreme ADV, like you mentioned, the blade core is a huge, huge departure from what we've seen in Supreme, from that Renew core from the previous generation. So maybe let's talk about that a little bit and how that benefits that Supreme player.
Sure. So one key factor with all three of our families is making sure that we want to match the right type of blade core with the kick point. So Supreme is a high kick stick, which means that it's going to be a little bit stiffer down low. So when you have a pretty stiff taper area, you want to make sure that you're matching it with a blade that's, has a little bit more of a dampening feel to it. That's going to be, a little bit softer. You get that nice feel. So it holds the puck before it releases to kind of max out that velocity. So what we've done here with the new Ultrasonic is we have our new fast core blade tech. So with the Supreme 2S Pro, we had Renew Core, which really focused in on maximizing that dampening feel to the stick. But what we found in some of the feedback that we got is it just added to the weight story for us with Supreme. It's a little bit of a heavier blade core. What we've done with this is we have created a strike zone. So right where you make contact with the puck, whether you're stick handling or whether you're loading and releasing a shot, that has still those kind of dampening layer, that softer foam in here. But what we've been able to do is we've added a bridge core, a carbon fiber bridge in the middle, which has allowed us to surround that strike zone with much lighter weight foam. So you're getting kind of the best of both worlds now. You're getting that strike zone that's a little bit softer, that works really well with that kick point. But now surrounding that strike areas, you're getting much lighter foam in order to reduce a lot of that weight to help get us down to that 390 grams.
And as far as feel goes, for someone who is maybe a huge 2S Pro fan, how is that, puck handling and shooting as far as, the overall stiffness? How do those differentiate, or are they pretty similar?
You're still going to get, ultimately when you can shed some of that weight out of the blade, you're going to be able to release the puck faster, which is obviously a big benefit. From a feel, it should have very similar properties to what we've had with Supreme sticks, because in that strike zone where that puck is making contact, 90% of the time, that's still going to have that kind of softer foam and those dampening properties. So that's what I was saying, we feel like we've kind of connected the two pieces together to get that lightweight, but we're not sacrificing any of the feel. We have a way to be able to measure our dampening effect on there, on our blades. And the 2S Pro and the Ultrasonic actually land in the exact same spot in terms of dampening properties. So we're really excited that we were able to maintain and create that feel for people who love that Supreme blade and match it with reducing that weight.
And let's continue with weight, but now down into the lower price points here. So we saw a huge weight reduction in the Ultrasonic, but we're going to see this essentially in every price point. So What are a couple key upgrades we're going to find in this year's 3S Pro, and how does it compare to the previous generation of 2S Pro?
So, yeah, I mean, we're very excited. We feel like we have a nice kind of 1-2 punch in terms of what we would consider elite sticks within the Supreme line. So obviously Ultrasonic is taking ADV and bringing it down as our new top price point stick for Supreme. It has the sonic taper. It has, that weight down to 390 grams. What we tasked the R&D team is we said, we still want to be able to offer an elite level product that doesn't have the sonic taper, that still has the new kind of feel and look of Supreme. Mm-hmm. That is, at elite level price point, but even lower. So our task then was like, we want a stick that can match the performance of 2S Pro at a lower price. And they essentially delivered that. So from all accounts, from everything that we can measure in the lab, mm-hmm. the 3S Pro matches the performance of our 2S Pro with some added durability features into there and maintaining a similar weight. So it does have the MPK. We've still looked at the MPK taper. We've looked to optimize, so it's going to be easier to load than our previous Supreme sticks. So we hope that, the message can get out, and you guys are certainly helping us do that, that it's a great value from an elite level standpoint. It's still a great performing stick, even though it's our second price point in the line.
Right. I mean, you guys have just raised the bar so much with the ADV now into the Ultrasonic that this is still truly an elite level product. But now you just have another tier above it with the Ultrasonic. And then, so how about those performance players out there, that maybe aren't looking for an elite stick, but they're still looking for a ton of value, durability at these mid to low price points? We have the 3S with some serious upgrades there too. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to talk about for the 3S, again, is the weight, which I know I'm mentioning a lot on our conversation, but for me, that's the biggest factor that plays into it. When we can shed weight, we know that it's going to improve the performance. Mm-hmm. So this 3S is coming in at 435 grams. So similar to what I had said for Flylight, right? The Flylight and Ultrasonic are coming in at the same weight. The 3S and the 2X Team, which are similar across on price points, are both coming in at that 435 grams, which is best in class weight for that price point. Coupling in with our 15K carbon fiber and what we're able to do with our HP mold, which is essentially a way to get a one-piece feel stick down into our lower price points. And then the other piece is our max balance technology, which essentially helps us shed that weight out, creates a great balance point and great feel within that stick, mm-hmm. but maintains all the durability properties, especially around the edges of the blade down low. So we're really kind of loading and taking some elite level technologies and trying to bring it down and create as much value as we can in our performance price points.
Yeah, just a few years ago, you would be happy to get a mid-kick stick at 435 grams, and now it's coming in at that mid price point, which is just killer. And then sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that's one thing that we've tried to take some pride in, to make sure that what we call value engineering, which is, not everybody obviously can spend up to our, to elite level price points across the board. So we are trying to jam in it. And it is funny, if you do think back a few years ago at what the weights were, the R&D team has worked really hard to try to create as much value as we can and focusing in on that weight balance and feel within these performance sticks. Definitely.
I mean, it's proving it just coming to fruition this year too. And let's just finish off real quick too with the S37. What can you tell me this stick is, really offering in terms of performance and value here?
Yeah, so similar, as we get down into these kind of the opening performance level price point, our goal here again is focusing on weight and try to bring as much performance as we can within those different technologies. So when you get down to this level, it does start moving into more of a fused two-piece kind of traditional, even though it's finished as a one piece, but it's down to 455 grams, which is a very competitive weight, best in class weight in terms of where this is positioned and priced in the marketplace. And ultimately trying to just coincide, again, it's looking to be on par near the X 2.7 with Vapor, but this is just now a preference of what kind of kick point or feel that you would want within that opening price point stick. But overall, we feel like we've created a real strong product, even from the low price points, moving all the way up, focusing on that weight. We brought max balance down all the way down to that price point to help with the weight and balance and feel of that product, and to overall reduce that weight down to 455 grams.
And then to finish this up here, just a fun question I always like to ask when I'm covering a new stick line is, what are a couple key players that you can watch and really see them utilize a kick point such as this new high kick point that we see in Supreme?
That's a good question. I think, like I said, being able to see a lot of different players, in different situations on the ice. I think, for us, we have a few key athletes that will hone in on. Jack Eichel is always one guy that we see. You see the way that his shot has really kind of come to the forefront of what we're trying to do in terms of having kind of that close hand feel and be able to get that puck on and off the blade as fast as possible and with a little bit of a load. So I think he's a good example. Another key guy that's in the fold, and a lot of people might not necessarily think of him as a Supreme user, and I think that's why he's a nice fit, is Nikita Kucherov is one of our key Supreme guys, and guys that, when you look at him on the power play and the way that he loads, he kind of keeps the puck back a little bit and then waits for his moment and gets that puck off extremely fast off of his blade in order to be kind of pinpoint and be able to put that puck where he wants, but it has, kind of another level of zip to it where it's like it's in the net before you even notice that, a goalie can react.
Yeah, beating the goalie with speed rather than a quickness that a vapor style shooter could possibly use.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's funny the way that we kind of talk about this internally, and just to kind of differentiate the way we think about our families is, when we talk about vapor, the puck is getting on and off that blade as fast as possible. So it's almost the idea of being unexpected. You want to get that shot there before a goalie can even react to it. When we talk about Supreme, it's a little bit of a different mentality, where it's almost, you're skating down the wing. You can look the goalie right in the eye and have the mentality, it doesn't matter, you can't stop me. The way that, the amount of velocity that I'm going to put on this shot, whether it's a wrist shot or a slap shot, is one of those things where, you're going to load, and they might be able to see it coming a little bit more, but the puck's going to come off at such a rate that it's not stoppable that way. So that's just kind of a way that we internally discuss things when we're talking about differentiating the families.
Perfect, Tyson. Well, thanks for taking the time to call in and walk us through this. It's a really exciting line, and I'm looking forward to the rinks opening up so I can get out and shoot around.
Awesome. I appreciate the time as well.
Definitely. And then for you guys at home that want to check out this new Bauer Supreme line, make sure you go to icewarehouse.com.